Welcome back to Real Life. Have you ever heard of radon? Maybe you've heard of it and don't have a clue what it is. In some parts of the country, it's very common. And Cherie Summa, a radon expert, is joining us today to give us some education. So Cherie, thanks for joining me and Karen today. It's not anyone's favorite topic. It probably doesn't come up a whole lot in conversation, but we know it's important and we know you know everything. So tell us why we need to know about radon.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer.
All right, there you go. That's why.
That's why. That's enough, right?
Okay,
that's enough. It's the leading cause in non-smokers. Maybe for some of the viewers who don't know what radon is, it's a colorless, odorless gas. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it, but it can be present at dangerous levels in your home.
And it's like not everywhere, right? So some parts of the country, some parts of even a state, it's more common, or a city?
It is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in every country, it's in every state. It's just in some states it's elevated more than in other states. So for instance, in Missouri, about 33% of homes have elevated levels of radon.
Wow.
In a state like Colorado, it's even higher, it's 40%. So it just kind of varies from state to state. But any home that you live in should be tested for radon and has the potential to have elevated levels of radon.
And so normally, I know, Karen, we're realtors,
Yes.
and we'll have people have it tested during the buying process. But what if you're not moving? Should you have it tested?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The good thing about a real estate transaction is it introduces people to what radon is that may have not heard of it before.
And when you say elevated levels, how do you mitigate the elevated levels? So if you go in at test high, which we do have sometimes in transactions, and what's the fix?
The fix is installing a radon mitigation system. And simply put, it's a ventilation system that pulls the gas from underneath the slab and vents it to the outside. Radon comes from uranium, so it's constantly decaying, and that system works 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I have one in my house actually, and it's hidden in a closet. It was there before I bought my house, and I'm assuming it's working correctly. Is that something that we should check?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It should be tested every 2 years, whether your house has a system in it or it doesn't. Every 2 years is a good rule of thumb to test, or anytime you make alterations to your house, you should be testing.
And without putting on the spot, what is a system cost? Ballpark?
Well, it varies in different areas of
Right.
the country, but I would say a good ballpark is $800 to $2,000.
Okay, so again, terms we don't talk about every day and the costs that are associated. So it's not a $10,000 fix, it's somewhere between $8,000 to
Right.
$2,000.
That's a good point.
It's
Yeah.
actually one of the least expensive home improvements you can make to your house, and it's one that can save your life.
And no one thinks about it.
No one.
No one thinks about it. In fact, over 21,000 people a year die in the United States from radon-induced lung cancer. It's the sixth leading cause of cancer mortality in the United States. And just by doing a simple test, you can buy a do-it-yourself test kit at the hardware store, or you can have a certified.
Oh, that's great to know.
Right,
Okay.
and for $20 to $50, or you can have somebody certified test for anywhere between $125 to $200, depending where you live.
And if you already have a system like me, is same, you just call a radon company to come, or you can get the test kit at a hardware store?
Yes, you can get the test kit at a hardware store.
Those are great tips.
Yeah, right. Of course, you can always hire a professional too to do the testing, but you should be testing periodically. Something like carbon monoxide, they're both kind of considered the silent killer because you can't see them, taste them, smell them.
Yeah, that's what we hear about.
And everybody has those in their home, right? Nobody would live without a carbon monoxide detector. Right. And carbon monoxide kills about 500 people a year in comparison.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting fact. So has this always been a thing? Because we heard an earlier segment, Andrea Lenzen talking about home staging, and she said like 15 years ago it didn't exist, home staging. So what about testing for radon? Has that always been a thing, or is it a bigger thing in the last few years?
Testing for radon hasn't always been a thing. It's been a thing, I would say, since the mid-1980s.
Okay.
Of course, radon's always been a thing.
Of course, radon's always been around us. We just didn't know it.
We just didn't know it. But there's been scientific studies starting in the 1950s about the links between radon and lung cancer, but we started testing in the early 80s, and it takes a little while. So I appreciate you guys raising awareness on this show. Everybody understands the link between lung cancer and cigarette smoking.
Right.
And every year that passes and we raise more awareness, more people are educated that radon also causes lung cancer.
Yeah. So is it that you said the most common reason for non-smoking lung cancer?
Yes. It's the
Learned a
second
lot
contributor.
today. Yeah.
It's the second contributor.
But we shouldn't be scared if we have a system, right? Like me.
No, I mean that's the great thing.
Right.
Radon-induced lung cancer is preventable.
Right.
And these systems are likely going to lower your radon levels to levels like that without a system. So let's say you're going to purchase a house and you test your radon levels and the action level is 4.0 picocuries per liter, 3. Well, you might get a radon system installed in that same house and it's going to be reduced significantly below that.
Is there any level of radon that is so high that you shouldn't buy the house?
No. And the reason is because any house can be mitigated.
So the systems can literally get rid of it, get rid of most of it.
Yes, and in most
any level.
cases, there's no correlation to the radon level and how successful we are or how low we can reduce the radon levels.
Yeah, very good. Well, this is great,
Really
great
good
tips, and
information.
thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you for raising the awareness for our viewers. This is important. Not something we talk about every day, right, Karen?
No, and easy as going to the hardware store to get a kit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very easy. Yeah. And my system in my house, literally, you don't see it, you don't hear it, wouldn't know it's there. Except I know it's there because I clean out that closet.
Right.
Right. All right. Very good. We love to bring you real education and great ideas right here on Real Life. I'm Sarah Bernard, and I appreciate you joining us today. Keep coming back for more great real estate tips that you can really use.